All right, you coming in? Oh, it's okay. Bienvenue à the office and welcome. We're bilingual, you know, we're bilingual. All right. Oh, hi, Terry. Hey, Terry. How are you? Andy, come on. We've gathered all the chairs we have and we sort of pulled them away from the table so everybody can fit. There may be some standing, but we're definitely over capacity. So please come on in. No chair here.
Could you lower the blinds because right now you're just this ominous silhouette.
I don't want to read into that. Is that better? Is that the right height? Another. I don't want to plug too much light. Is that working? Sure. All right, great. Well, welcome everybody. I intend to do a lot of listening this morning, and I can share some thoughts too if you would like that. But really, I'd like to focus on hearing what you have to say about Wednesday's news, and I presume that's why you're here. Okay. Anyone would like to start?
Yeah, sure. I'll get it started. Thanks for agreeing to meet with us. And I should say, we just decided 3 minutes ago that I would try to give some opening statements to gather everybody's point of view, but we all just met moments ago as well. So.
Met each other personally for the first time?
Yeah.
Oh, very interesting. Okay.
But I guess like the one kind of obviously the unifying thing that brought us together is a deep sense of dissatisfaction with the direction that the government has decided to go with respects to electoral reform. And I think, and please jump in if I'm misrepresenting anybody, but I think that we feel that there was like a deep sense of kind of cynicism from the government about the perpetual ways in which electoral reform was touted as a major thing. And then since election, just kind of been this gradual rolling back of the significance of it. And in some sense, even the Prime Minister suggesting that because it is a new government that is, I think, objectively better than its predecessor, that these issues are somehow not as significant. And that's certainly the way that I think a lot of voters are feeling right now. And I think that the government is significantly underestimating how important the structural reforms for democratic renewal actually were to the people who voted Liberal, many of whom perhaps might not have voted Liberal, and many of whom perhaps won't vote Liberal in the future on that issue. So, I mean, perhaps if folks would like to jump in with other personal insights, I think that in a general sense is what brought us together and decided to come and share those views with you and see what you think.
Sort of curious how it, what you think of this. I mean, obviously you're part of the government, so that is, we kind of know what the on-paper answer is, but in terms of like your parliamentary secretary now, was this something you knew about coming into the job? Are you comfortable with it personally and someone who ran on that commitment?
None of us knew what the direction was going to be in that. Well, the minister, I knew the day before, the morning of, but none of us knew what was going to be in that letter until Wednesday. The story of electoral reform is a long one. I mean, and to fully acknowledge the Liberal Party had elements of its campaign that were about electoral reform, and we spoke broadly about it. The then candidate Trudeau spoke broadly about electoral reform, including many things, improving access to the vote and cleaning up the campaign and party funding, electronic and e-voting, voting overseas, repealing the distasteful or undemocratic elements of the Fair Elections Act, and yes, changing the way we cast our ballots was part of all that as well. But the platform was also really clear about creating an all-party committee and about engaging with Canadians. And I know Mark in the room, I think more than anybody, but Mark, you know that my career in public engagement in city planning before was a long one. And the thing about public engagement is when you go to the public, you have to be ready for what you hear, whether it's what you expected or not. And you have to, if you're going to do it authentically, you have to be ready to act on it and carry out what you hear. And I don't have any doubt that there are communities, geographic communities, and communities of interest in Canada that have a clear preference for one system of casting ballots over another. And sometimes that's proportional representation, and sometimes that's first past the post, and sometimes it's everything in between. Consensus emerged in pockets. but broadly, as is government's job to look broadly across the country, I believe there was not consensus, and I think the confusion in the ERRE, the committee report shows that. The results from MyDemocracy.ca show that. The experience of individual MPs, including me in my town hall, show that.
I think in this room there's a huge sense of betrayal, because now it looks like when the Prime Minister made unequivocal promises about this being the last election on first past the post, that amplifies that sense of betrayal. So my question to you is, do you share in our sense of betrayal by the Prime Minister about this decision? Because it is serious, serious betrayal for me, and I think many people in this room.
I understand and honor the strong feelings that this group has, and many other groups and geographic areas across the country have for your preferred method of casting ballots. I really do, but I am agnostic as to what the community tells me when I walk into a community engagement session. Whether it was my own, and the record is on my website, you can see the diversity of opinion in that, or whether it's the national effort. Now, the MyDemocracy.ca took a different approach. It got to values. Why? Because it was clear through the work of the committee and the town halls that Canadians, by and large, your group and groups like yours excluded, were not ready for a discussion about changing. Don't largely understand, or are not even interested in understanding PR or rank ballot.
But that's the work that
Wouldn't
your
it be
government
your
can do.
job?
I want to push back on that a little bit. So, Dave Meslin of Free the Vote Canada has said the Prime Minister has made the right decision by pulling back. And he goes on to say the reason that he's made the right decision is because Canadians in the large numbers are not ready for this, because it's not as a way that school curricula are organized, because of the way community activism has been organized. And his point, and I'm sure you've probably read his article, says that this needs to start in communities, at the community level, built from the bottom up, and not the top down by some dictate as a result of a countrywide engagement process that didn't show consensus, as much consensus as there might be in this room. Where there were many learnings from the process that was undertaken over the last year, but one of them, to your point, was that one of the things we learned from all that was that there was a long list of things that are important to Canadians right now, and electoral reform is on it, but it's well down the list. Earlier, it's 10:30 or so today, I met with Autism Nova Scotia, Canadian Mental Health Association, Langhouse, Schizophrenia Association of Nova Scotia. Later today, I'm meeting with an employer who's trying to work hard to keep 10,000 jobs in the Halifax region. There are a lot of things that are important to Canadians: the economy, your health, aging, and in a fair assessment, electoral reform is well down the list, not on the top. So I have two jobs. One is Andy, the parliamentary secretary, and one is Andy, the MP. Right? So Andy, the parliamentary secretary, is going to be helping the minister to execute the mandate letter, which is the other elements of democratic reform, repealing parts of the Fair Elections Act, access to voting, and all those other good things that are absolutely essential to strengthening democracy in Canada and we're moving ahead on. But also this very real and emerging cybersecurity threat, where we just witnessed the unbelievable potential for destruction in the United States when there's not good cybersecurity. So that's my job as PS. My job as MP is to always listen, to always carry the message of my constituents back to the relevant minister, whether in this case it's democratic institutions or whatever the issue is, and I'll do that faithfully.
So there's no part of your current job as secretary to raise this issue again with the minister? I mean, how does she feel about it? She seemed to be quite on board with the issue. I know she's very new and very young, but sounded as though she had a commitment to electoral reform and proportional representation in particular. So how does she feel about it? Will she have a voice to actually express some concerns that have been around the room? I don't know what's happening in the rest of the country. Maybe there are other meetings going on like this. I don't know. Will you be able to bring the issues we've raised here to her attention?
Yeah, I always will do that as the MP. I would never put words in her mouth, but it is, I can tell you that it's cabinets in the Prime Minister's position,
Yeah.
what we know, what the position is, that naming to all
And I guess in other organizations, the two hats role you described is often phrased as conflict of interest. Is that, do you feel it conflicted at all?
How do you conclude that Canadians do not want this?
Agreed.
Was it the survey? My career was as a statistician, and I spent my career creating valid surveys. That was not a valid survey. Have Statistics Canada have a look at it. If you don't take away all their money, as happened under the Harper government.
So 360,000 people responded to the survey, 160 town halls, meeting of the committee in every province and territory, and meeting, round table discussion with the previous minister in every province and every territory. All of that is where that.
Oh, so you are concluding that the survey was valid? Are you? You're concluding that the results from the survey are worth listening to? Well, yeah, but you just told us. You just told us the survey was one of the things that influenced. Then you're incompetent. I mean, the government is incompetent.
Where there were many learnings from the process that was undertaken over the last year, but one of them, to your point, was that one of the things we learned from all that was that there was a long list of things that are important to Canadians right now, and electoral reform is on it, but it's well down the list. It's 10:30 or so today already. Today I met with Autism Nova Scotia, Canadian Mental Health Association, Langhouse, Schizophrenia Association of Nova Scotia. Later today I'm meeting with an employer who's trying to work hard to keep 10,000 jobs in the Halifax region. There are a lot of things that are important to Canadians: the economy, their health, aging, and in a fair assessment, electoral reform is well down the list, not on the top.
And there is a Liberal MP who said, you know what, this is a bad idea to backtrack on this. Are you prepared to say that?
I have been doing public engagement for 2 decades, and like I said, I am agnostic when I walk in the room. And I did not hear consensus in my own town hall, and I did not see consensus in the report.
So what do you
It wasn't
believe?
What's your
consensus,
threshold for
but there
public
was a
engagement
heck of
before
a
you got
lot
to this
of,
job?
I would say the
Is it
majority
consensus? Like, when you walk into a room for public engagement, you have to make a decision if you're a city staffer or whatever role you're in. I'm guessing council was not always looking for consensus, or the groups you were working for weren't always looking for consensus, were they?
I would say probably yes. I'll tell you a little. I'll compare an experience. So when I was leading the downtown plan, and that plan went to council in 2009, HR by design. We had a poll that was done by somebody else, some third party, that said. And by the way, that plan had some controversial elements. It allowed for tall buildings. It allowed for development next to heritage buildings. But that plan had 80%, 82% approval of the community. That's why I had confidence taking it to council and recommending it. If it had 40% or 12% approval, I would have had a different approach, absolutely. But in the end, that plan was successful because it had the broad support.
Yeah, but how long did Halifax by Design take to develop, and how many meetings there were? More than 6 months during the summer.
Yes, it took longer, and I agree with Dave Meslin that this is going to be a much longer process than we've had with it. And that the right thing was to push the pause button and
So you'll campaign on it next time.
And they will be putting some resources into developing something.
I think the resources are going to go to the other elements of electoral reform.
So it's not pushing cause.
That's not,
It's pushing stuff, yeah.
that's not strengthening our democracy.
Because if you push pause, then the next campaign, you say, oh, we're gonna do electoral reform, and nobody trusts it.
Sorry, when I say push pause, I'm talking Dave Meslin is saying push pause. That's his.
Yeah, but you're saying push stuff. You're saying we're focusing on the other
I think
elements.
cabinet has
Was
said push
Dave
stop.
Maslin,
Right.
I mean, is he the guru on electoral reform or something? Aren't you listening to other people? What about Fair Vote Canada and all the people around this room and in constituencies across this country? Is Dave Maslin somehow the only person you're listening to?
Listening to everybody, and as I said at the beginning, I completely honor and value the passion and the wisdom and the opinion and position of everybody in this room, rooms like it, wherever they are around the country. The government has to look at the country as a whole, and this is something. I liked your point about this is a meta issue. That's great language. This is a meta issue. The way we cast our votes is the foundation on which every other decision this or any government makes. And it's not one that can be done capriciously or by fiat because a leader said it in a campaign. It needs to have the support of Canadians across the country.
The way that voters cast their
It's an
votes.
unexpected outcome. I think that we were all a little surprised by to use a strong word, frankly, the disinterest of Canadians.
Exactly.
That's even better.
And I just want to say thank you for coming to see me today and for all the energy and time you put in this. And that is a very sincere expression of gratitude. I will push back a little bit on the misleading piece. I campaigned, as did every other Liberal MP, on the belief that we were going to engage Canadians in a process that would result in a change in the way we cast ballots. And I, like many of my fellow MPs, have to look at the evidence of what we see before us, what we hear with our ears, and as passionate as any one group or geographic area can be, there are many times more areas that are not that passionate. And we have to listen to that.
Here's my suggestion. As parliamentary secretary for democratic reform, you put it together that this government's mission from here on out is to educate people and really put the wheels in motion to create a real dialogue and a climate that electoral reform can happen in. If you're saying that the issue is that there's no consensus and that we can't do it right now, well, let's build a climate.
And that's a message as the MP that I can take back. So
Please do.
absolutely.
Good.
Thanks.
Thank you.
There are some
Thanks
tidbits on
again.
the way out, some coffee.